Time is now 7:01. I will call a common council meeting to order. Could we have roll call, please?
Iverson.
Here.
Schatzinger.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
Gallops. Kane.
Here.
Kotsky.
Here.
Sorensen. Split.
Here.
We have a quorum.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I now offer this prayer on behalf of Pastor Karen Gygex Rodriguez of the Federate Church of Green Lake, who unfortunately has COVID. So in addition to praying for her health, I now offer this prayer that she shared. Holy Lord, we gather as your servants in this place to do the work assigned to us by the constituents of our city of Ripon. We are humbled by the trust given over to us and seek your presence to guide us as we do this important work. Bless all gathered here, bless their families, and all that is going on in their homes. We offer this prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Jolene.
Thank you, Jolene.
All right, is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
Been moved by Doug, seconded by John. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the agenda say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved.
Aye, sorry. I approve.
All right, there is no one signed up for public comment. Next is there a motion to accept informal reports from standing committees and staff as published?
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Been moved by Jonathan, seconded by Jolene. Any discussion?
Here.
John?
On the Ripon Area Fire District, after reading that report for last month, are we going to get, I know it's under like a audit, are we going to get a final report given to us, to council, regardless of which way it goes, the audit? Or is it something that we just give the money to the fire district and they can do what they want to with it and we're not really responsible for it?
So I can just comment that there are 4 members of the council on the board. Certainly anything that comes of that, we can report back out to the rest of the council.
Okay, so it won't be like an official report?
It's in the hands of the fire district outside of anything that we would touch right here, right now.
Okay.
So in the city council or my office or anything like that, it's a separate district. So
Would it be something that we could ask for an official report?
yes, I think that would be what would come after that. There would be
Okay.
an official report filed with the city and the towns that also are a part of the district.
Okay, thank you.
And can I add, I mean, I know you know this, but the Ripon Area Fire District meetings are public record. You know, so they will be recorded, the typical notes available, those things. So.
Yep, okay.
And I trust that the auditors are going to report back to the board and then
Right.
We
Yeah,
haven't
that's from
actually,
there.
we haven't actually selected one yet.
But that is the
We're working
plan.
that forward, yes.
Okay. Any further discussion on the informal reports?
I'll just add that I thought it was particularly admirable that there was a sort of review report by the Ripon Area Police Department, and I thought it was good information that I appreciated seeing.
Thank you.
I have a comment. I'd like to echo what Jolene said about the annual police department report, seeing the amount of training and the outreach in the community and the training that has helped prevent people from getting hurt in the community and the surrounding area. So I'd like to thank Bill Waldner back there and his officers. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the informal reports from standing committees and staff, say aye.
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 Opposed? Approved. Next item is the consent calendar. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar as published?
Make a motion to approve the consent calendar as published.
Second.
Been moved by Howard, seconded by John. Any discussion on the consent calendar? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the consent calendar, say aye.
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 That is approved. All right, next I have a proclamation. This is in regards to FBLA Week. Whereas Future Business Leaders of America, Inc., FBLA, is a nonprofit education organization whose first chapter was established in Johnson City, Tennessee in 1942, and whereas Iowa became FBLA's first state chapter in 1947, and whereas Ripon Senior High School officially chartered its FBLA local chapter on December 4th, 1973, and whereas FBLA includes more than 250,000 members and advisors in 4,600 chapters nationwide in middle schools, high schools, colleges, universities, career and technical schools, and private business schools. And whereas FBLA is a professional business organization dedicated to bringing business and education together in a positive working relationship through innovative leadership and career development programs. And whereas FBLA members perform community service activities and strive to build a student's understanding of the realities of modern business world. And whereas FBLA teaches middle school, high school, and college students basic business and leadership principles and assists them in the transition from school to work. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Theodore Grant, do hereby proclaim February 5th through 11th, 2023 as National FBLA Week in the city of Ripon, Wisconsin. Would there be a motion to approve this proclamation?
I'll move to approve the proclamation.
I second it.
You. Any discussion? Billy?
Mayor, I'd like to say that as a former school counselor in the Ripon area school district, I saw firsthand how important FBLA was to the students, to this community, the real world experience. They got to challenge themselves in a supportive environment. So I really want to give my support to that. And I believe in the audience, I think we actually might have an FBLA student. I don't know, perhaps they would like a picture with the mayor.
We should have the vote first. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the FBLA Week proclamation, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Sorry, Paige. Opposed? That is approved. Thank you. 1 second. Is it Claire?
Yes.
If you'd like to step forward. Today is the 14th.
We need to take a picture.
2023.
Come on.
For you, take back to the school.
Thank you very much.
Get Lud in there.
Yeah, I got a lot. Don't get Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Gotta get out of the picture. Get those wide angle lenses. Yeah, the light. You never know what could happen. Right.
All right. All right, moving on. Next, we have a public hearing. This is for the proposed discontinuance and vacation of a portion of Tigert Street. This will be from Scott Street, or near Scott Street to Jackson Street.
Correct. Yes.
The time is now 7:11. I will open the public hearing. If you want to give a quick overview of this process?
Yeah, so this is the required public hearing. We had done a resolution previously to set a public hearing and forward on a resolution to officially vacate a portion of Tigard Street. This is the portion of the, what it would be, I believe, south of the bridge up to Jackson Street. So it leaves a little bit of right-of-way there, but then ends it where Horner Park is and where there's the existing bridge that needs to come out. And that project is moving forward. So we would be vacating that area with the intentions of never putting a street back through there or a bridge or anything for right-of-way use. So you have the map here in the resolution. So this is just the required public hearing portion of that.
All right, is there anyone from the public that would like to speak? Please step forward, state your name and address.
Hello, Mark Dunkert, 840 Newberry Street. I would just like to ask the council to maybe revisit the master park plan and see if there's anything new or additionally, or if it could be revisited to better use that space, knowing that the road is now going to be vacated from there. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I do believe the master plan did have that in the back of their mind when they were creating the plan.
I believe you're correct,
But we will, we'll remind the Parks Department to review that. Thank you. Anyone else? If there's no one else from the public that would like to speak on the matter, I will give it just a minute here, and then we will end the public hearing portion. All right, so the time is now 7:13. I will close the public hearing. Are we able to proceed with a vote on this tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Just you're amending the agenda to move it up, but that's no problem.
Oh, is it further in the agenda?
You don't have to, you can't wait.
We can't, let's just wait. Let's just wait. Keep it in order.
Oh, yeah,
Keep people thinking.
there's something snuck in the middle there.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll come back to that. Sorry. All right, so in the meantime, next item to discuss is state municipal financial agreement for the state-led highway project on 23. Adam, would you like to give an overview of that?
Yes, so in your packets, you have a draft state municipal finance agreement for the State Highway 23 reconstruction project in 2030. Okay, so upon arriving to Ripon, we had conversations with the DOT regarding the condition of the state highway. That conversation sort of led to a reevaluation, and they finally put us on their plan. So they usually plan out about 7 years out. So we are on the plan. This is the first step in the process of getting the project started and done. The project includes State Highway 23 in two sections. One from what would be Union Street all the way to Blackburn here, so right in front of City Hall all the way down to Union. The second would be Houston to Douglas. That is the overall project area they're looking at doing in 2030. No jokes about this. This is a once in a 50-year type project. This is a big deal. That is why we are talking about it in 2023. It'll take all of 7 years to plan this and get this done. This is the first step, like I said. Included in it is a estimate for preliminary engineering. So that is a cost share at 25% with the state. So the city would be on the hook for $228,000 to begin planning out this project. It will revise the scope, look at everything. It'll take about 2 years to come up with the final plan. We have met with the DOT, city staff did, to discuss just preliminary, preliminary concepts, preliminary budgets, what all needs to be done within that scope. All of it is preliminary and will continue to evolve after this agreement. So we need to begin talking about things like utilities, okay, in these areas. What needs to be replaced? What needs to be upsized? What needs to be, installed where? So their estimate for the overall project is $4.9 million. That is just the pavement. That is just what they do. We have a cost share in that will come later on once the project is better defined and designed out. The utility component of it is not funded by the state. That will be funded by the city. So we haven't gotten to the point of what we know that estimate is, but you can guess by the time 2030 rolls around, the cost of this project will be rather significant. Again, sort of a once in a lifetime type project for the community. So to move this along, we would recommend approval, and we can continue to work with DOT to plan this and design it out. Getting into specifics about what it's going to cost, what the city's going to all do is going to be pretty preliminary at this point. But for us to get this project on the state's radar and keep it moving, we have to approve this and work with them to get the project done in 7 years. So.
The cost sharing of the 4 million, obviously you said that comes later. Is that going to be like a 75-25?
That's generally where it starts, but as you read the agreement, there are things that they will pay for, and then there are things that we will pay for. Mm-hmm. So those things could shift. So, they may say, like utilities aren't one of them, but, like if we wanted to say, for example, put in decoratives or replace all the streetlights, and we wanted a certain decorative style, they're going to pay to a certain point, and then we have to pay the rest. So, so there's a lot of details and things that need to be hashed out. So, but yeah, it's 75-25 is generally it. All in, it's a significant project for the city, significant financially.
Howard was first.
When do you anticipate having a total cost of the city's portion of this?
We will.
What year?
2025, 2026.
Okay.
Yep. The ideal situation would be to work with an engineer that we are familiar with, that the DOT is familiar with, to let both projects at once, meaning bid the road plus the utilities and have it designed under one
project.
Kind of project concept. So if we are able to get a certain engineer or a couple companies that we're familiar with, know the city, which they have talked about doing, we will begin that process as well, with them engaging engineering firms and getting the ball rolling. So very preliminary. We haven't even began to estimate what the utility side of it is, but Jeremy and I, we've talked a lot about it, and the majority of the utilities in these areas need to be replaced. Mm-hmm. They are old.
Well, you talk about this being a once-in-a-lifetime project. I'm old. I remember when they did it the first time, and it was one heck of a project. I mean,
It's gonna be a mess.
They dug everything up, and so.
Doug?
Okay, a couple of questions here. I noticed that parking lane costs are not something that the state's going to pay for. And I know that there is some parking like in front of the city hall, and especially Houston to 23. Are we going to, because we have many years now, are we going to work on with these residents about not parking there, making that all of no parking so that the state could pick up more of that cost, or what are we planning on doing?
We are evaluating that and going to in the design, determine where the parking lanes remain and where they do not, to save money.
Okay.
Because we are required to pick up the cost of the parking lanes.
Right.
That's why it's hard to determine what our cost share is because if we just went through today and replaced everything as is, our cost would be higher versus, getting lean and taking the right of way and making maybe a larger boulevard or not allowing parking. So all of that is going to be evaluated.
Okay, and my second question then is kind of dovetails of what Howie was just saying and John was just saying about they remember the first time. Well, I wasn't here then, but I do know, or I should say, are there any discussion, I realize we're 7 years out, on detours and how we're going to help the downtown merchants and stuff when those roads are blocked up or how, because of course we don't even know how they're going to do it. One lane open, one lane closed. I have no idea all at one time. I don't know. But that will, I hope, be a consideration down the road.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, there's a lot of things that have to happen before we get to that point, but, we have to decide a couple things, including is it a 2-year project, a 1-year project?
Right.
Because of the utilities, things of that nature, doing it before. Ideally 1. Detours, all that stuff, we understand it's going to be a challenge. I've talked to other communities that have gone through this. There's a playbook out there for this type of work that, we'll just replicate or use to, whether it's hiring an intern or having somebody be a point person to promote and educate and communicate. We'll probably follow a playbook like that. But that's all very premature. But
Right.
it's all stuff that, we'll organize ahead of it, get it out. I mean, this will be you approve this, you won't hear much for a while.
Right.
Then it'll come back and it'll just continue to it'll be here by the time you know it. And but we'll plan all up until that point, so.
Because this area is in my district, and I don't want to get into the details here because I realize it's 7 years out, but I did want to confirm, I know that I talked to Jeremy when there was a water line breakage, I believe in this part of the road that we're talking about, and my understanding is that the size of our pipes right now, they don't even make them that small, and so when they had to fit it, there's almost like a patch.
Different area.
Is it a different area? So that won't be covered in this? No. But does that, I mean, there could be other areas in the city where does that, replacing utilities, it seems like it's a kind of urgent underground.
Yeah. I guess the extent and the age of the utilities underneath the project area is very old. And by 2030, it's going to be even older. We do plan on televising that area, both stretches, this year to identify the current status of it. But without knowing, it's going to be hard to tell. But everything in that area probably does need to be upsized. There are split sewers in some areas where capacity was met, and instead of upsizing the bigger pipe, they actually buried another pipe alongside of it. So it's kind of a disaster underground, and we've, started making a log of it, I guess. But it will be extensive and a lot of planning to get it done, I guess.
Okay, thanks.
Because it's a state highway project, is there state funding or grants that the city can get, or is it all just city responsibility?
It's pretty much all city responsibility. We'll definitely look into grants and things of that nature, but generally speaking, with the state coming through and covering the majority of it, they don't all of a sudden let you have them cover more.
Right.
So
I figured.
We are also taking shared revenue for maintenance of state highways. It's called Connecting Highway Aid. Because of that, we are obligated to participate.
Okay.
We could deny that, but then it gets into a whole problem. So,
Okay.
What's the cost sharing?
on the engineering, it's 75-25. The remainder is yet to be determined.
Determined, okay.
But generally, 75-25 is where they start.
Okay, thank you.
So, last thing, again, you kind of said once in a lifetime or for some of us that are older,
Sorry.
twice in a lifetime. But, so if we do not move forward to, keep this, as you said, the state talking about this area moving forward, I mean, that means that it's a.
They will be back when? We have no idea. I mean, they could bump it to 2031, 2032. We have some flexibility here too to say, well, 2030 is too soon. We need it to be done in 2032. Well, that's fine. We'll just continue to work on the project, but the goal would be 2030. If we say no, they're going to go to a different part of the state.
Yep.
Like, we have complained to get to this point.
Yeah.
Over the last couple years and show the need. And they finally have been here and have driven the roads and seen that, yes, this is a problem and we need to get this on our radar. They will be doing state highway projects all around us and stopping right at our front door. Okay, so you'll see.
If we don't move forward.
No, they're doing that, they're doing projects around us over the next few years. You'll see projects happening on state highways, but we're talking long, stretches from town to town, ending at the doorstep of each town. To get to this point, the cost per mile is so much more than going from, say, here to Green Lake on the state highway, that these are, when you get on a list, you stay on the list.
Yeah.
Would anyone like to make a motion to approve this agreement?
I'll make a motion to approve this agreement.
Second.
Been moved by Doug, seconded by Howard. Any,
You know me, I always like to say what this agreement is. Can we be more specific? Can we name it, actually?
the state municipal finance agreement for a state-led highway project.
Thank you.
I'll accept that friendly amendment.
Same here.
Any further discussion on this one? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the state municipal finance agreement for a state-led highway project, say aye.
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 Opposed? That is approved.
Thank you.
Now, coming back to the resolution to vacate a portion of Tigard Street. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve this?
I'll make the motion to approve the resolution for vacating the portion of Tigard Street between Jackson Street and Scott,
Near Scott.
near Scott. I never saw a sign out there that said near Scott. It always just said Scott. So,
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Doesn't matter.
Go to John.
Okay. Moved by Howard, seconded by John. Any discussion on this motion?
I understand why this is important to vacate, also for safety, but I wanted to clarify something that I thought I perhaps heard our city administrator say earlier, in that by approving, did you say, or mean to say, by approving this resolution, that it means that in the future, I assume that in the future, if we wanted to have a walkway or a bridge, if that was feasible, that could happen. I thought you said it would mean that
It just
that would
wouldn't be in a
never-
right-of-way.
What'd you say?
It just wouldn't be in a right-of-way. It would be on the parkland.
right.
Yeah.
So it's not, we're never putting a road back. Unless, if we do, we'd have to establish a right-of-way again. But we're removing the right-of-way. I mean, we're taking the bridge out, we're gonna have a right-of-way there. It doesn't really make sense from the standpoint to continue to have a right-of-way there for multiple reasons, including the, it's a right-of-way, other utilities and things can use it, for access and crossings. We would essentially just make the entire area a park. And then, yes, the park plan has amenities in it that, are trails and potential bridges and things of that nature that are built out that would, if we didn't do this, would be built in a right-of-way. So we just, it just is cleaner and
okay.
basically creates a city property that doesn't have a right-of-way through it, and yeah, we're not, unless you want to all put a road back in and start fixing the bridge instead of taking it out. But we're going down that path pretty quick here to take it out, so.
Yeah, Adam hit it on the head. It's telling the world that bridge is not going to be for vehicular traffic.
Right.
May it someday be a walk bridge, maybe something else. And so this resolution really does stamp that, so the public understands they're not going to be going through that area any longer, which they've figured out pretty well, but this puts the final piece on it, and because the city owns both sides of the vacated portion of the roadway, it doesn't change the city's position to be able to craft, create, improve the park area around it. So it does both things for the city, and this will be recorded after we're done.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the resolution to vacate a portion of Tigert Street, say aye.
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 Opposed? That is approved. Thank you. All right. Our last agenda item tonight is an ordinance to,
Oh, weird.
the hearing closed at 7:13. So the last item is an ordinance to annex territory to the city of Ripon. Adam, want to give a synopsis on this one?
Sure, I can. So in front of you, you have an ordinance annexing territory into the city of Ripon. There's the address of the house, N8747 Douglas Street. It's approximately 47.279 acres. There are the two parcel numbers there with the legal description. This kind of just specifies what is all required. So there's a population of 1. It will be annexed in for the school's purpose and to the Ripon School District, which it already is. And then we, as the city, have to pay the town 5 years of property taxes levied against the territory or the annexed property. So that kind of spells it out. You can see here that there is, in addition to this, a letter from the Department of Administration. They have reviewed it and said that the annexation is in the public interest, so they have essentially given their blessing to this, as it is contiguous and it's a unanimous consent or unanimous approval annexation. You can see here that the property owners, the Lion Webbers, which Craig is here, have petitioned this. It's been, like I said, filed with the DOA. The Plan Commission also did meet in late January, if you saw in the packet, I believe, and recommended approval of the annexation contingent upon the DOA giving its blessing, which it did. So this is the next step of the process in ordinance annexing the territory in. Alliant Energy is also here to answer any questions, I believe, or just if they want to speak as well to talk about plans for the property in the future. Certainly they can do so. That's all I got.
Thank you. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve this ordinance?
I'd like to make a motion to approve this ordinance, annexation of the almost 47 acres of land in the city of Ripon.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved by Doug, seconded by Howard. Any discussion?
I don't know, I just find that, I feel like it should be city council practice. You did mention that we have people here. I feel like they should at least be asked if they want to say something on some. They don't have to, but I feel like that just should be practice that I'd like to see. If they took the time to show up.
Is there anything you'd like to speak on?
Appreciate you over, sure, but really nothing to add. What are your plans? What is the?
You're able to ask like that? Yeah.
Well, the ultimate goal is for a 10-acre land division to be sold to Wisconsin Power and Light, so they could build a new operations center and move off of Fed Street out to the Zinski out the street area. So that's the ultimate goal.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Take a roll call.
Hearing no other discussion, I'll have a roll call vote.
Always got to do that to me, Lud.
Going down to the state, whenever you send something in there.
Iverson.
Yes.
Schatzinger.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Kane.
Yes.
Gotsky.
Yes.
Split.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. And welcome to the city. All right, next up is project updates and staff reports. Do we have anything from water? No. Police? No. City clerk?
Election is coming up February 21st. Here at the council chambers, everybody can come here. All wards will be reporting here. We will be starting and implementing the Badger books, which will be in place of our poll books. So you will be signing that. You'll still be going to the voting booth, filling out your ballot and putting it into the machine. That part won't change. It'll just be the beginning process that you'll notice a little bit of change. So be patient as all of our poll workers try and learn the new process and it gets implemented.
Thank you.
Are you able to share what these, what's on the ballot this term, what coming up, what the election is on?
I don't have that in front of me. It's a judge.
Just Supreme Court.
Court as big as it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
Primaries for Supreme Court.
Yeah. Just 4 options on there.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Adam, do you have anything?
Just in your packet, I had a few things on my report, including a ratings letter and a rating press release from Moody's regarding the city's bond rating. You can kind of read that and get kind of an understanding of where the city is headed financially, as well as the overall change in our rating. There was an A1 rating with a negative outlook. That negative outlook was removed because of numerous changes that the city has made to its finances over the past couple years since the last rating call. So we continue to evaluate our financial practices, evaluate budgets, evaluate revenues, and make recommendations that overall are being recognized by Moody's in our bond rating as a positive change for the city. So that is a good thing. Anytime somebody is saying there's a negative outlook on your community, I feel that's horrible. So to see that be removed based on the work that has occurred here is encouraging. You will have 2 candidates for District 2 vacancy. They are in the audience tonight, Terry Grunert and Mark Denkert. I will send you guys a follow-up email inviting you to the next Common Council meeting to make a presentation, and the council will decide from there. We'll have it all ready for you all. I did share information about both individuals with the council, so certainly that will be coming, and let me know if you have any questions. There'll be a plan commission meeting.
Hey, Adam. Oh, sorry, it's me speaking from the ceiling.
Are you okay? What's up?
Yes. Quick question as far as the vacancy goes. Will I be part of that vote or no?
Lud, will she be part of the vote?
When was her resignation effective?
The 28th.
The 28th.
Which is after that?
After
Yes.
that.
Then she's part of that vote.
Then you are part of the vote.
Oh. Okay, I just didn't know how that worked. Thank you.
Yep. There'll be a plan commission meeting tomorrow night on the agenda will be site plans for the Boys and Girls Club as well as the Ripon College Stadium. And then a few other things just to be on the lookout for. There's a hospitality study or hotel study that was issued, request for proposals. We have all those in. We're weeding through them with Chamber Main Street to make a recommendation to the council come next meeting for a consultant to complete that work, which was in the 2023 budget. And then our Parks and Rec Director, Ashton Zien, has started. She shared information with you. Feel free to go meet her. She'll be here at the next meeting. But we are working on finalizing the Parks Master Plan as well as the community, updating our community outdoor recreation plan. So those will be coming to the council in next meeting. That's all I have.
That's quite a bit.
We're busy sometimes.
All right. I have no appointments or specific communications this meeting. Any comments or future agenda items from the council?
I was asked to put on the agenda to allow backyard chickens, a discussion of that for next meeting.
Okay.
Anybody else?
If it's on, that's on, that's fine with me.
I'll put, if everybody's good, I'll put it on.
Can I ask a question? Does a discussion mean a vote? I know that this has been brought up in the past.
Just a discussion.
It would only be a
And this has been
discussion.
discussed,
Unless a miracle happens and everyone agrees on what was presented, I don't expect a vote.
No, there won't be a There won't vote. be.
That's why I
There won't be a
asked
vote.
discussion.
Discussion only. It'll be a discussion whether to take it forward from the common council to create the opportunity to vote on the question.
Do you want to review the draft ordinance that was done previously? Do you want that shared?
I think we should.
should we share that? So there was kind of a committee that I was a part of that was looking at that, and so we were getting ready, making sure that that was ready to be shared with everyone and the public. But just so you know that was sort of in the works. I guess
I just don't know if it's productive to talk about something without having something to go off of. So there's not like a whole bunch of discussion about what happens if the chicken runs away.
Crosses the
You know,
road.
yeah, thank you.
If we have a draft of something,
There's a draft.
we probably should have that for the
Okay.
discussion.
Okay.
Anyone else? Future agenda items or just comments? Hearing none, is there a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
I'm going to give that to Paige. Moved by Doug, seconded by Paige. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 7:44.